Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishvabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhu vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaitya Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We will sing a short bhajan. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Udirayet Nasta Prayasta Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistuki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay, so yesterday we spoke about gratitude. Today we will speak on the 9 processes of devotional service. Okay, it begins with hearing, all right, which is the topmost, all right? Hearing and chanting are the topmost because by hearing, our lifetimes of sins, right? The coverings of sins in our on our over our heart, all of them get peeled away, just like when you peel off a cabbage. All right, just by hearing, you will realize that wow, you feel really good, especially when you hear from a guru, right? Secondly is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Thirdly is remembering the Lord. The fourth process is serving the Lord's lotus feet. All right, by putting tulasi, by putting chandan, by offering a flower, by massaging the Lord's feet, etc. Okay, some people when they have a deity at home, at night before they put the deity to rest, they will massage the Lord's feet because the Lord has been standing for a long time. Okay. And then the fifth process is deity worship, where you dress the Lord up, very, very opulently. You provide him with nice garlands of flowers, yeah, with nice perfumes, etc. Okay. The sixth one is prayer, just like all the prayers which we are going through in Bhagavatam, from Uttara to Arjuna to Queen Kunti, all right, to Gajendra's prayers, etc. These are all the sixth form of prayers. And you can actually come up with your own prayers, right? And the seventh one is executing the orders of the Lord. Okay, just like Hanuman was executing the orders of Lord Ram. 8 is you serve as a friend, right? You serve as a friend, like Arjuna, for example. And 9 is you completely surrender, right? Whatever you do, whatever you think, whatever you eat, everything is as an offering to the Lord. Okay? That's the 9th process. The 8th and 9th process are very, very, very advanced stages of devotional service. I'm not sure how many lifetimes it will take for us to reach that. The first 7 can be relatively easily executable. All right. The easiest is definitely hearing and chanting of the Lord's name. And just by hearing and chanting of the Lord's name, you can also start remembering Him easily. Okay. I'll just reflect on one point. Yesterday, I went on a 5-kilometer run, and day before yesterday, I went on a 5-kilometer run. Okay. So the first day when I went on a 5-kilometer run, I decided to hear some nice upbeat kirtan. All right, Krishna Mahamantra, nice, beautiful kirtan. And then when I came back home, when I was resting, when I was back to sleep at night, and then when I woke up, what happened was the first thing I remembered was the Lord. The same tune was playing in my mind. Okay, that was 2 days ago. Yesterday, I decided to make a slight difference, an experiment on myself. While I was running that 5 kilometers, I decided to listen to some real hot party Bhangra music. Okay. So I was listening, and of course, it gives you a good high, not a spiritual high, but a material high. So maybe you can run a little faster. So I came back home, finished the thing, and then I was hungry to listen to more Bhangra. Nothing wrong with that. And then in the morning when I woke up, instead of remembering Krishna, the first thing I remembered was the lyrics of the Bhangra music and the tune, etc. And I started humming that. So that is how things around us, music, the type of food, etc., it affects our association. All right. 2 days ago, when I was hearing the Maha Mantra, when I was jogging, listening to Kirtan, etc., what happened? When I woke up in the morning, automatically I was remembering Krishna. And yesterday, when I was listening to some of the best Bhangra songs, what happened? I started humming the same tunes. Okay, so that's the difference. The first 7 process, once again, is very easy. 8 and 9 are the most difficult processes. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to look at how you can perfect the 9 processes of devotional service in the context of the 3 modes of material nature. Okay, so everybody remembers the 3 modes of material nature. So let me just make a quick summary. Some of you are new. All right, so I've got someone who is identified with a phone number over here. 8594-35205. Can you please identify yourself? Otherwise, your car will be towed away. Who is this? 8594-35205. For security.
That's a password. That's a meeting ID.
Okay. So that's Mahindra, is it?
No, I have registered with my name.
No. Somebody over here has not registered with a name. It's just registered as a phone number. It's 8594-35205. Who is that, please? Just for security reason, we need to know who is this. Because last few days there's been a lot of crazy things happening on Zoom. Can I unmute you and hear who you are?
I think better.
Hello? Who is this, please?
I think person is not registered on Zoom. Join as a guest.
Yeah, but who is this? I've unmuted you. Can you just tell me who are you? Hello?
Type the message.
Hello? Hello? Okay, let me just, maybe it's a phone number I can. Eight 9435.
Prabhuji, sorry. Prabhuji, it's your ID.
It's my ID, is it?
Yes, yes, yes. This
No, no,
ID.
it can't be.
It's a meeting ID actually.
No,
Yes.
yeah, someone must have registered under the meeting ID. Okay, never mind. Let's trust the person. He will not do anything. Let's move on, okay? So these are the 9 processes, and I want you to try to see how this, interrelates with the 9 modes, the 3 modes of material nature. So once again, a quick recap of what the 3 modes of material nature are, right? So from Lord Krishna, all right, emanates the material energy. Okay, Goddess Durga is responsible for the material energy. The entire material sphere is under her control. And also under her control are the 3 modes of material nature. So over here, you will see, right, emanating from Krishna are the 3 modes of material nature, which continues to bind us in this world. So the 3 modes of material nature, they bind us to this world, and we can only be unbound by whom? By someone who is not bound. Who is not bound? Krishna, okay, or a pure spiritual master. These are the only 2 who are not bound, and they can help us to come out of this material nature sphere. So the three modes of material nature are characterized as modes of goodness, modes of passion, and modes of ignorance. If you have come for our Bhagavad Gita class, you would have learned that, the mode of goodness is when you are in a park, when you are in a nice, bright, airy space, you will realize that that exterior mode of goodness affects you and you feel so good. Okay. The mode of ignorance is when you go to a very dingy, dark, alley, dirty place, etc. Sometimes, our bedrooms, our classrooms, etc. are so messy. Everything is chucked everywhere. That exudes a mode of ignorance. And what happens? You will feel very lazy. You will feel very grumpy, etc. in such a environment. And the third one is mode of passion. When you go into a stock exchange, when you go into a discotheque, a party area, where you're so full of energy, all right? So that kind of energy in the exterior also affects you, all right? It affects you. You become very, very passionate, all right? So those are the 3 modes. Now I want you to look at each of these 9 processes of devotional service. Do you think they are in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, or pure goodness? I want you to chat in your answers.
Prabhuji, can you repeat the question again, please?
So the question is, if you look at these 9 processes of devotional service, hearing, chanting, remembering, do you think all of these 9 processes are in the mode of goodness, or they are in the mode of passion, or they are in the mode of ignorance? Or actually, let's rephrase it. Do you think the person who is executing all of these 9 processes, or any one of this, he is in the mode of goodness, he is in the mode of passion, or he is in the mode of ignorance? What do you think? Okay, so I've got a chat over here. So Sonia says goodness and passion. Shamugam says goodness. Okay. Ben Prabhu says passion. Sarth says pure goodness and passion as well. Once you taste the Harinam, once more. Okay, so good. Mahindra, what do you think? Lalita says goodness. Mahindra says pure goodness, sattva, Sud sattva. Okay. All right. So actually, the right answer is what Deepa Mataji, okay, Arya Singh, Arya Singh has mentioned, not 100% correct, but actually it depends on the mood of the worshipper, the person who is conducting the devotional service. There are some people who can actually chant Hare Krishna in a mood of pure goodness. Okay, they are just remembering the Lord, etc. Some of them are chanting out of anger, because they have just completed something, they are in debt. They have just got into a fight or an argument with someone. Okay, some of them are very, very competitive. All right, and some of them are, in a very calm state. So actually, it all depends on the individual worshipper. He can be in the three modes. And the three modes are not absolutely 100%. It can be variegated also. So for example, it can be 100% mode of passion, or it can be 30% mode of passion, 30% mode of ignorance, 30% mode of goodness. All right, so there's varying degree of the modes. Just like, the primary colors are blue, yellow, and red. When they come together in the right proportion, you will get white, isn't it? We learned that in school. And then sometimes when the order is not that much, if the proportion is not correct, you will get, slight variation in the color. That is exactly how it is, right? So, and the Goswamis have actually mentioned that although there are three modes of material nature, if you overlap these 9 processes and the 3 modes of material nature, and then you superimpose the gradations within each of these 3 modes of material nature, you actually will get 81 different combinations. Okay, it's a little complex, but slowly you will get it. All right, so once again, Tamaguna, Rajaguna, and Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna is mode of goodness. Rajaguna is mode of passion, right? There's always change, there's always action, full of energy, creativity, movement. And Tamoguna is, laziness, inertia, darkness, heaviness, stale, all right, full of materiality. And pure goodness would be, when you are in harmony, purity, balance. Okay. So these are the 9 processes, and I will, okay, there is someone who, 2 people raised hands. Can you please unmute yourself? Yep, question for me? Okay, so how can one chant in the mode with all calmness at all times? Is there a way? Yes, there is a way. All right, so Ramesh Ji, he mentioned depends on the execution. I mean, how we are executing on it. That's correct. So Sonia, you are right. There is a way of doing it. We learned in our class that, when you wake up in Brahma Muhurta time, it's at 4, about 96 minutes before the sun rises, about 4:30, 5 o'clock. All right. At that time, the entire consciousness of the ecosystem is actually very, very, very calm. All right. If you have been, for example, listening to a kirtan, etc., before you went to bed, you will also wake up with that kind of consciousness. The type of food which you eat, okay, if they are, if we eat vegetarian, not too spicy, etc., that is also in the mode of goodness. So whatever you consume, the type of people whom you associate with, the type of food, the type of music, the type of house you live in, the atmosphere in the house, all of that can form your internal mode. All right. So if you live in a place where, there's just so much of noise, so much of dirt, everything is in a mess, then our consciousness will also be in the mode of ignorance. All right, so let's move on. Right, so these are the 9 processes, right? Beginning with hearing and then chanting, remembering the Lord, serving the Lord's lotus feet, deity worship, praying, executing the orders of the Lord. Can someone just unmute and tell me what are some of the orders of the Lord? Anyone?
Sorry, could you repeat the question again?
Can you just share with me what are some of the orders of the Lord? Over here, right? Dasya means you are executing the orders of the Lord. What are some of the orders? Okay, it's very simple. Serve the Lord, remember the Lord, no gambling, no meat eating, no intoxicant, no illicit sex. These are all the orders of the Lord. You know, waking up early in the morning, getting into the right consciousness. All right, so that at the end of our lives, we don't have to return back to this material world. The Lord is, all excited to reclaim us back. He has put us into this material world because we wanted to enjoy independently from the Lord. And that's the reason why He had set up the material world. So now, all right, so these are the meanings of the 9 processes. And once again, it depends on the gradation of the worshipper. All right, he can be in the mode of passion, ignorance, etc. So for example, even when simple things like, going for Thaipusam, all right, when you go for Thaipusam, you'll realize that sometimes people are in a mode of such pure goodness, they are just carrying milk. All right, they are in such pure goodness, pure consciousness. They go to the Lord, they offer the milk. Some of them, what they have is they have gold-plated kavadi. They have gold-plated kavadis, etc. That's mode of passion, trying to show others, okay, that my devotion is a higher level. In Malaysia, you have got some people who even put Manchester United, Liverpool posters on the kavadi. That tells you that those are people in the mode of ignorance. Okay, so it all depends on the individual. We need to introspect and tell ourselves when we are worshipping, what mode are we in? It's best to be in the mode of goodness, and then from there we try to work towards being in the mode of pure goodness. And we will come to all of that later on. So now, under Shravanam, the best was Maharaj Parikshit, because he was given 7 days to live. And what did he do? He said, forget about eating, forget about drinking. I just want to listen to the Bhagavatam. All right, so just listening, because he listened for 7 consecutive days and nights without even bothering about eating, he is like the strongest proponent of Shravanam, hearing. And who was he listening from? He was listening from or listening to Sukadev Goswami. And therefore, Sukadev Goswami was actually teaching him for 7 days. He was glorifying the Lord. All right, so the best proponent for Kirtanam is Sukadev Goswami. Remembering the Lord, who is the best proponent? We are studying him right now, who is Prahlad Maharaj. Right? Even at the tender age of 5, he was always correcting his father that you are not the Lord. All right? Vishnu is the Lord. He was always remembering, he was always propagating this, he was always preaching to his classmates. Even those who had come to kill him, he was always telling them, remember the Lord, only he can save us. And the Lord actually saved him all this while. Pada Sevanam, which is worshipping the Lord's lotus feet by putting tulasi, by massaging, etc. Goddess Lakshmi is the best proponent of that. She's always at the chest of the Lord, always massaging his lotus feet. Okay. Prithu Maharaj was, the best proponent for deity worship. Akrura, all right. Akrura, you will, when you read Krishna's pastimes, you will realize that, he offers beautiful prayers to Krishna, right? And then for executing orders, it's Hanuman, right? In terms of friendship, who is the Lord's best friend? It's Arjuna, okay? And then Atma Nivedanam, is complete surrender. Bali Maharaj, when the Lord asked him, what can you give me? He said, I'll give you the three worlds. So what the Lord did was, with 1 feet, he was able, with 2 footsteps, he was able to take the entire 3 worlds. And then he asked me, the third step, where do I put? Bali Maharaj said, you can put it onto my head because I am completely surrendered onto you. Okay, that's the pastimes of Vamana Dev. All right, so now I want you to just sit down and reflect on, the last few days, everybody has been speaking on Ramayana. I'm sure you would have received 101 different WhatsApps on Ramayana. Okay, I've also been sending you daily, 1 chapter, sometimes 2 chapters of the Ramayana. So if you have been attentively watching, listening to all of this, you can easily tell me, who are the proponents of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, and Sakhyam, and Atma Nivedanam in the Ramayana? Okay, so let's start with Shravanam. Who do you think is the proponent of listening or hearing in the Ramayana? Anyone likes to try? If you like to try, just unmute yourself, okay? No problem. We are just a small group. We are only 16 families today. Who? Any guesses in the Ramayana? Nobody? It's already 8 o'clock, We haven't even started our class yet. Quick, think. Jiva, can't seem to hear you on Zoom. Is there something on my phone setting that I should change? Jiva, put on your earphones. Anybody? No? Then I'll help you. Sure, no tries. Lalita, Ben.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
is it Sri Ram?
Ramayan, Ram was listening to whom?
He listens to a mother.
To father. Maryada Purushottam.
To a mother's request.
Okay.
Even though she was a stepmother.
Okay. Good try. Good try. Actually, it's Hanuman. Okay, he was always, listening to Lord Ram. He was always trying to hear the instructions from Lord Ram.
Serving, yeah.
What about Kirtanam? Who lives this Kirtanam process in Ramayana? Who is always chanting the glories of Ram?
Hanuman again.
Hanuman, actually, Hanuman is there in most of it, but there's one personality who even taught the children of Ram the Ramayana.
Lava and Kusha.
So who?
Who taught
Lava
them?
and Kusha.
Who taught them? Yeah, who? Anyway, it's my wife is also here. She's also in the class. Okay, she's also struggling.
Is it Valmiki?
Exactly, Valmiki. Very good.
Okay.
Valmiki. What about Vishnu Smaranam? Who is always remembering the Lord?
That's Narayan, right?
Narayan?
No. I mean, the guy who always said Narayan, what's his name?
No, he's not really there in the episode of Ramayana. Narada Muni.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Who was always remembering the Lord?
Shabari.
Shabari, okay. But more. In separation, this person was remembering the Lord.
Bharata.
He was crying and crying and crying.
Jatayu? Jatayu?
No.
Bharata.
He was always remembering.
Someone type in Sita. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Sita.
Oh, very good. Very good. Thanks. Okay, next. Pada Sevanam. Who was worshipping the Lord's lotus feet?
Kevat.
Kevat. Very good. Yes, Kevat. Who else?
Is it Bharat?
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
Kevat and Bharat. Very good. Archanam, who was doing deity worship of the Lord every day while waiting for him to come.
Shabri.
Exactly. Very good. Every day she was waiting and she was always tasting the vegetables and tasting the berries. All right. Always keeping for him. Don't do that. Huh? We are not Shabri's level. Okay. One of the students asked me, yeah, if Shabri can do it, why I can't do it? I must also taste and see whether the food is okay before we offer to the Lord. No, no, no. You just put salt and you put a piece of lime next to it. The Lord will know how much to put in. All right. Don't become Sabri. Okay. And then for Vandanam is Vibhishan. Who is Vibhishan?
Ravan's brother.
Very good. Okay. Dasyam, of course, you can see Hanuman, but there's another one more Das of the Lord. Always next to him.
Hanuman.
Lakshman.
Lakshman.
Very good. Okay. What about friend? Who was the friend of the Lord?
Hanumanji.
Hanuman.
And
And
from
Lakshman also.
Sugriva.
Sugriv.
to grief. Very good. Very good. Auntie Satya. Okay. What about Atma Nivedana? This is something which some of you had answered earlier on. He was not very capable, but he said, you know what, Lord, I'm already so old. Let me completely surrender myself and, give my life to protect your wife. Who was that? He got in
Jatayu.
a fight with Ravan.
Jatayu.
Exactly, Jatayu. Okay, I think this is a wonderful exercise. You will now remember the 9 processes. Do you agree? No, you don't agree.
Agree. Yes.
Very good. Okay, so the 9 processes, these will rekindle our connection with the Lord. Remember, we already have a connection with the Lord. All right, it's just that due to Maya, due to our lifetimes of sins, all of these have been covered up. Okay, so these 9 processes which you do, even chanting, even if you are chanting in the mode of ignorance, chanting in the mode of passion, it's okay. Continue to do it, you will get a taste for it. Okay, so this was enunciated by Prahlad Maharaj, and he actually learnt it from Narada Muni when he was still in the mother's womb. Okay, he learnt it from Narada Muni. All right, and may not all be required for the execution of devotional service. Even if you can do one of these correctly, the Lord can save us from the greatest of danger. All right, when you focus on one, there is a high propensity that the others will somehow get mixed with it too. All right, so for example, you saw Hanuman doing most of what the rest were also doing, but in different degrees. All right, so remember that Bhakti Yoga is not an armchair practice or a religious doctrine where you go once a week, on a Sunday, and then, from Monday onwards, you forget all about it, you get to your sins, etc. No, it's not like this. It is not a Sunday's religion. It is every day, whatever you are doing, try to offer it to the Lord. Okay, so it's so practical. I've seen the lives of Lalita changing. I've seen the lives of Deepa changing. I've seen the lives of so many people actually changing just by taking up, God consciousness, Krishna consciousness in a much more serious way. Right? So, it awakens your deep sense of fulfillment. Devotees are always happy. However, how much of problem they may face, they know that at the end of the day, it is all happening by the will of the Lord. The Lord will know what is good for me, what is not good for me. All right. They are always very, very enduring, and they are always full of satisfaction. Okay. So try to embark on any of these 9 processes. Okay. The second process is the easy one where you're just chanting. All right. So this is what I was telling you about, how you bring the concept of modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance into these 9 processes. Let's look at, generally devotional service in the 3 modes. Under ignorance, maybe you are doing devotional service with anger and envy towards others. just to show others, if he can cut 10 vegetables for the Lord, let me cut 20. If he can do 12 rounds, let me do 30. Okay, there's anger with others, there's some envy and all that. That's not correct. But it's okay. It takes time for purification. All right, Rome wasn't built in a day. Then again, under ignorance, a different degree would be it's performed with a sense of pride. When we are giving charity, for example, I want everybody to see that I'm doing this. Okay. So and so Ganesh Chaturthi festival, kindly donated by the Rai family, by the Sharma family, by this family, by that family. You want the whole world to know that, we have given money. That is with pride. All right. And sometimes perform with violence towards other things. Just because you are doing devotional service, you are not at all mindful about what you are doing to other living entities. Passion means, I want to do this devotional service. I want that power. I want to be in control, right? So some people, for example, they are doing devotional service. They want to be in control, Some people, they join committees, etc., just to be in control of what is happening, not because they want to serve. Maybe they want to be seen by others, and maybe he's a performer or desirer of fame and respect. So like this, you can see that there are different gradations of each of this, and they can then be applied to, those 9 processes of devotional service. That's the reason why, sometimes newcomers, when you join the movement of Krishna consciousness, when you meet other devotees, you will realize that, hey, what I'm reading in Bhagavatam, what I'm reading in Bhagavad Gita, these people have been in the movement for a long time, but I do not see that pure goodness nature in them yet. You will realize that, it's okay. Who are we to judge others? Okay. All right. How did you find this section? This is quite advanced. But, those of you who have gone through our Bhagavatam classes, our Bhagavad Gita classes, I think this is a piece of cake for you. Mahindra Prabhu, would you like to reflect on this and maybe, share your, your realizations around this?
No, absolutely. The way I have seen it is that, as you clearly mentioned, that you cannot perform any of these activities only in that pure mode, or in only just that mode. You would definitely have other. So when you're doing smaranam, you're also doing some shravanam also. You're hearing your own voice and all that. So there is inevitably a mixture of different modes of these practices also being applied. And the starting step is definitely hard. It is definitely not going to immediately elevate you to a great level of perfection, but it is only a question of practice. And I have at least observed from my own case, at least, as the more and more you keep practicing, you try to avoid your mind being vacillated or being diverted elsewhere. It is only a question of practice by the time when you actually get some sense of control in terms of how your thoughts are or how your behavior is.
Okay.
So it's all again the 3 modes of passion all the time acting up. Nobody's having the perfect state of nobody's in 100% state of that passion. Everybody is always acting in a proportion of each of these passions acting on. So we have to accept that and still try to bring in a lot of control in ourselves. And that is where through repeated practice we can get through, and we can develop this sense of practice more and more.
Okay, very nice. Okay, anybody else would like to reflect? Lalita ji?
All I can say that as much as we know goodness is the right thing to do, it's not very easy to do. So even when I'm chanting, I find myself digressing sometimes. So it's a difficult task, but like what Prabhuji earlier said, it's a matter of practice. You practice hard, you get where you are. You will get there someday.
That's true. Very nice. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's move on now to, this is already like 40 minutes into the class. So anytime you feel you need to attend to something else, feel free to leave. Okay, don't worry. Yeah. So let's move on with the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj where we stopped yesterday. Yeah, we did 4 prayers, 4 verses. So you can see over here, baby Prahlad Maharaj. Yeah, we spoke about all the pastimes. The Lord appeared from the pillar. All right, he burst out of the pillar to save Prahlad Maharaj. Right. So Prahlad, yesterday's summary is that Prahlad explained how bhakti is the only way to attract the attention of the Lord. Expressing our gratitude, our fervor, our enthusiasm to serve the Lord, even in the form of a deity, in the form of, the incarnation of the Lord, the oral incarnation of the Lord. Yeah, you do not need any material qualifications. The Lord do not see, whether you are rich, you are a poor, you have that ability, etc. How can Prahlad Maharaj say that? Because he was born in a demoniac family. All right. The father was a demon himself who always thought he was the greatest. Okay. So qualifications, ancestry, etc., do not matter at all. Only when we are devotionally connected to the Lord can we feel happiness and security that we yearn for, since all other material plans are ultimately doomed for failure. We saw, the whole world was materially planning, and all you needed was a small little virus which can't even be seen, all right, coming and causing a lot of harm to the whole world. So Prahlad highlighted how the Lord is actually impartial, not seeing friends or enemies, but graciously reciprocating with each soul according to your desires and your activities. That is how the Lord reciprocates. All right. Just like the sun. If you sit in a dark room, you will not see the sun rays. All right. Does it mean that the sun rays are not there? Does it mean that the Lord's mercy is not there? No, it is always there. It is whether you have that propensity of coming out of your room and accepting the sun rays. It is a matter of whether you have the propensity to reach out to the Lord for his mercy. Okay, so that Supreme Lord appears in various forms to somehow attract the living entities back to the spiritual world where we originally belong. So the next verse is, my Lord, who are never conquered by anyone, I am certainly not afraid of your ferocious mouth or tongue, your eyes bright like the sun, or your frowning eyebrows. I do not fear your sharp pinching teeth, your garland of intestines, okay, your mane soaked with blood, or your high wedge-like ears, nor do I fear your some tumultuous roaring, which makes elephants want to flee to distant places, or your nails, which are meant to kill your enemies. Okay, so Sudhir Prabhu actually brought a very good, very important question yesterday. Do we approach the Lord, in awe and reverence, that we are afraid of you? You have that thunderbolt which you can easily throw at us. Do we approach in that mode, or do we approach in the mode of servitude? That he's our loving father. Okay, so Prahlad Maharaj explains very nicely over here. So Sudhir Prabhu, you could actually see this was coming. All right. So the purport is the lion is very fearsome for other animals, but for its own children, the cubs are not at all afraid of the Lord. The water of the sea is certainly dreadful for all living entities on the land, but within the sea, even the small fish is not afraid, isn't it? Yeah. If you put us into a mighty ocean, it can be very, scary, right? But then, for a small, tiny fish, he's not afraid. Why? Because he feels very, very comfortable. So the devotee always takes pleasure in worshipping the Lord and glorifying the Lord in any form, either pleasing or fierce. Okay. So Sudhir Prabhu, that answers your question. Anybody? Any reflections, realization? You can unmute your mic. No, then let's move on. Oh my Lord Narsingadev, by engaging in your transcendental loving service in the association of devotees who are liberated, I shall become completely uncontaminated by the association of the three modes of material nature and be able to chant the glories of your Lordship, who are so dear to me. Okay, I shall chant your glories following exactly in the footsteps of Lord Brahma and his disciplic succession. Okay, in this way, I shall undoubtedly be able to cross the ocean of nations. So I want you to reflect on this very important point over here. What is the Lord saying? What is Prahlad Maharaj saying? In the association of devotees, the association of devotees is so important. Sadhu Sangat, it's so important. That is why when you go to places of pilgrimage, etc., it should not just be, touch and go. You should be there associating with the devotees, trying to learn from them, hearing from them, etc. Okay, because they have seen the truth and they can therefore guide us. Just a moment's association with a pure devotee can basically change our lives. Okay, so I shall become completely uncontaminated by the association of the three modes of material nature, right? So when you associate with the right people, people who are in pure goodness, who are in 100% spiritual nature, then what is going to happen is that nature will also fall onto you. That's the law of attraction of the universe we know of, right? When you associate with not the right people, you will get the qualities of that person also. Okay, for example, in today's world, very crude example, the government is telling us to have social distancing, yeah, because we are afraid someone may be carrying the virus. Yeah, when somebody has the virus, it comes to us, right? So similarly, by the laws of attraction, if we associate with people with bad qualities, negativity, etc., somehow it will come to you. Okay, any reflections, realizations? I see a chat over here. Okay, all right, let's move on. The third verse for today is, my dear Lord Narsinghadev, O Supreme, because of a bodily conception of life, because we feel that we are the body, all right, we are not a spirit soul. Actually, we are a spirit soul in a humanly body. Maybe next life, I may be again a spirit soul. I will again be a spirit soul, maybe in a cockroach body, or maybe in a plant's body, right? So now what Prahlad Maharaj is saying is, because of a bodily conception of life, embodied souls, that means souls with a body, neglected and not cared for by you, cannot do anything for their betterment. Okay, so if the Lord doesn't give us our mercy, there is nothing we can do about it. Whatever remedies they accept, although perhaps temporary beneficial, are certainly impermanent. Whatever you think can solve your problem, can give you good health, etc., it's just temporary. All right, I can run 5 kilometers, 10, 30, 40 kilometers, maybe good for my health, but what is going to happen is, one fine day my knees will give way. I'll still realize that, oh, disease is still coming, old age is still coming. One fine day I still have to leave. Look at Fauja Singh, he's probably close to 100 years old, but yeah, he's still getting old. One fine day he will still have to leave the world, right? So whatever remedies we accept, although temporarily permanent beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and mother cannot protect their child. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering of a patient, and a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. Okay, so whatever we think, they are all temporary relief. That is why spirituality, connecting back with the Lord, is so important. Prahlad Maharaj, 5-year-old boy, is teaching us all of this. I like this picture. My dear Lord, everyone in this material world is under the modes of material nature, which we just discussed, being influenced by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everyone, from the greatest personality, Lord Brahma, down to the smallest ant, works under the influence of the three modes. So let me tell you, if you think you can be easily getting into the mode of pure goodness, listen to what Prahlad Maharaj is saying. Everybody, even Lord Brahma, is affected by the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. All right. So just be very, very careful about the atmosphere we are in, the type of food we eat, etc. Go back to chapter number 14 of Bhagavad Gita. Look at our notes. All of that is very, very, very clearly mentioned. Therefore, everyone in this material world is influenced by your energy, your material energy, by Maya. The cause for which they work, the place where they work, the time when they work, the method due which they work, the goal of life they have considered final, and the process of obtaining the goal, whatever you think your purpose are, all are nothing but manifestation of the Lord's energy. Okay. Indeed, since the energy and energetic are identical, all of them are but manifestation of you. Right? So when I started off my class today, I explained to you, from Lord Krishna, the material energy emanates. All right, material energy emanates. You have got the three modes of material nature, which are the material energy. Although they come from the Lord is not touched by them. Okay, there is a cloud. You will see over here. Let me go back to that. You see, there's a cloud over here. There's a cloud. Oops. There's a cloud. You can see the cloud over here. What this cloud does is, it stops us from seeing the Lord. So material nature is stopping us from seeing the Lord. Why? Because we wanted it. We wanted to enjoy independently from the Lord. So the Lord say, okay, you enjoy as much as you want. When you are tired, you come back to me. All right. And therefore the Lord came up with this modes of material nature. All of this is from Maya. Okay. Blocking us from actually seeing the Lord. Okay. So I hope I made it quite clear to the newcomers. And final verse for today. O Lord, O Supreme Eternal, by expanding your plenary portion, you have created the subtle modes, bodies of the living entities through the agency of external energy or Maya, which is agitated by time. Why agitated by time? Because in the spiritual world, there's no concept of time. Time is only there in the material world. Thus, the mind entraps the living entities in unlimited varieties of desires to be fulfilled by the Vedic directions of Karma Kanda and the 16 elements. Who can get free from this entanglement unless he takes shelter of your lotus feet? Okay. So, in the fulfilling of our daily activities or Karma Kanda, okay, there's a lot which we are doing. There's a lot of influence from the material nature. We are meeting with different types of people. We are eating different types of food which is cooked with different types of consciousness. It is a mess. All right. But we can get free from all of this if we take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Okay. So that's the message for today. Who can get free from all of this entanglement unless he takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord? All right. So today we spoke for a long time. If you cannot remember anything, don't worry. Just remember this one single point. Okay. We cannot get rid of all of this entanglement unless we take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, unless we do devotional service. Okay. Prabhupada writes, the fallen conditioned living entities trapped by the external energy of Maya. Okay. But if by good fortune, this person meets a bona fide representative of the Lord, meets a guru who gives him the seed of devotional service or the Bhakti Lata beach, and if he takes advantage of such a guru or representative of God, he receives the Bhakti Lata beach, the seed of devotional service. Okay. So the seed of devotional service is planted by the Guru. When you keep on chanting, what is going to happen? The seed will start sprouting. When you do devotional service, it will become a nice plant. It will keep on growing and growing and growing, all right, into the ecosystem, out of the universe. It goes all the way to Goloka Vrindavan, connecting with the Lord. But at the same time, what you will see is there will be many creepers, wrong association, etc., coming and bringing the plant down. You know, just like you have so many weeds in the garden, you know, weeds will be there. They will try to pull the plant down. You know, so your creeper, you know, which is struggling to go up, needs to be watered by devotion with the right association, by reading, hearing, chanting, Pada Sevanam, etc. If you properly cultivate the Krishna consciousness, he will gradually be elevated to the spiritual world. The ultimate conclusion is that one must surrender to the principles of Bhakti Yoga, for then one will gradually attain liberation. No other method of liberation from the material struggle is at all possible. Okay, I've got a chat over here. So Sudhir Prabhu is asking, what are we as individuals really defined by? Our consciousness, our actions, or by a unique limited soul? How is it that we come back to the world or other worlds as a different being or existence? How does the Lord see us? You know, your question is always very, very loaded. It will take one class to answer them. But anyway, let's try. All right. So we are defined by our consciousness. Our consciousness is defined by the activities, the type of people, our association, etc. It is also defined by our actions. You know, if you see a cat passing by, you know, you're not happy, you kick the poor cat, then what has happened? Your action, all right, your consciousness affected you to work on this and produce an action, and that action will have some repercussions on your karma. All right. So although we are a limited soul, in our Bhagavad Gita class, what did we learn? We learned that we have three bodies. We have the spiritual body, we have the subtle body, which is the mind, intelligence, and the false ego. The false ego always tells you that you are the body and you're not a spirit soul. All right. So all of this karma, they will continue into our next life. You know, all of this is continuing into the next life. Right? And all of this will actually culminate at the point of our death. And at that point, it gives us a particular state of consciousness. Whatever consciousness we have at that point of death, but Krishna explains in chapter 8, brings us into our next life. All right. So if we do not start spiritual activities, then what's going to happen is our prevalent consciousness would be the consciousness in the mode of ignorance, consciousness in the mode of passion, and sometimes even consciousness in the mode of goodness. Because goodness is not what we are aiming for. We are aiming for pure goodness, which is not at all attached to these three modes. Okay? All right, so how does the Lord see us? The Lord sees us as a spirit soul, you know, as someone who wanted to enjoy independently from Him. The Lord is just waiting, you know. When you are ready to come back to us, He will take care of us. You know, Bhakti Yoga or, you know, Sanatan Dharma is not one where we feel, you know, just by accepting a particular religion, you get a passport to reach the Lord. No. How can it be so easy? Just because I accept a particular religion, I get the passport to go to God. No, you need to show. You need to show to the Lord. You need to show that you are worthy of this. All right? That's very, very important. You know, don't just be assuming that, you know, just by getting into any particular form of religion, etc., you know, the gates of heaven will be ready for you. It doesn't work that way. All right, Sanatan Dharma, which is since time immemorial, explains very clearly, you have a choice. All right, you have a choice. If you want to go into the path of devotion, all right, and reclaim yourself, the Lord will try to reclaim you. If you are not interested, you want to keep on enjoying, etc., it's okay. You can just come back again and again and again and enjoy. That is why Srila Prabhupada says, how many lives we have given to Maya? Can we not just give this one last life to Krishna? You know? Just like a very, very rich father, you may have a Bill Gates with a son. The son is so frustrated with the father and he says, I want to enjoy independently, I'm leaving home. After all the tokers, after hitting, after being kicked everywhere, he comes back to the father and tells the father, I want to come back to you. Do you think the father will immediately accept him? No, the father will see, let's see, let's see, what's your behavior like? So there will always be a little bit of test here and there. All right. Okay. So, we have passed the hour, but if you have the time, I will continue from, I will just continue. Okay. Okay with all of you? Yeah, but if you have to leave, no problem. Huh? I know many of you haven't taken breakfast yet. I have also not taken breakfast. I've only got water over here, which is enough. Okay, Deepa Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, so yesterday we spoke about reading. Yeah?
Yeah,
Reading. Oh, you were not in the class, right, yesterday?
but I saw the video, the recording you sent.
So we learned in reading that, it's the fire of knowledge. Krishna has presented all of this knowledge to us. Vyasadeva has presented all of this knowledge so that we do not have to go through that hardship to experience it. That's why it's called the fire of knowledge. Yeah. If your mother tells you, don't touch this hot pot, you don't have to experience it by touching the hot pot and burning your hand and then realizing the next time you will not do it. People tell you, don't smoke. Don't do this, don't do that, etc. You don't have to experience it. So that's what scriptures is all about. They are telling you what to do and what not to do. The boat of knowledge, this world can be compared to a choppy ocean, just as a series of violent waves. Right? So what does the religious literature do? Eventually, this boat carries one to the spiritual realm where permanent relief, peace, and spiritual joy are actually found. And we explained this yesterday. Now let's look at the third reason why we read the scriptures. We couldn't cover this yesterday. The third reason why we read scriptures is because it is the lamp of knowledge, or the Jnana Deepa. Walking in the dark is dangerous, right? So knowledge is like a GPS for us. This spiritual knowledge is a GPS. It tells us how to reach the Lord. Okay. Without this GPS, what's going to happen? You will go round and round and round and round, and you will not be able to reach the Lord. Therefore, the scriptures, especially scriptures, even scriptures can be in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. All right. You will realize that, hey, how come the Puranas, there are 18 Puranas, 6 of them are actually in the mode of goodness. For people who want to progress, 6 of them are in the mode of passion, and 6 of them are in the mode of ignorance. So everything caters to the type of person who wants to read the scriptures. Okay. That's a little bit too advanced. Let's not get in. But anyway, this is like the lamp of knowledge, or the torch of knowledge. So it's like GPS, if you want to go to, Lakshmi Narayan temple. You put in your GPS, it brings you there. Sometimes along the way, you think you can find a shortcut. What's going to happen? You will go into a wrong journey. But the scriptures, being the lamp of knowledge, will tell you how to come back. Just like GPS. The GPS will be able to bring you to the right direction. Okay? And the GPS is also sometimes telling you the shortest cut to a certain route. You may know so many ways of doing it, but then the lamp of knowledge, the Jnana Jyoti, will tell you, okay, you don't have to go through the entire series or the ladder, the yoga ladder, to reach bhakti. You can actually go to bhakti yoga immediately. Right? And finally, okay, you have the sword of knowledge. All right, sword or the knife to clean your garden. Right. So if you leave your garden unattended for a year, what is going to happen? The lalang will come by, the weeds will come by. Unfortunately, the longer you neglect, the harder they are to uproot. The garden of spirituality also has its fair share of weeds. I told you earlier on that, your creeper, your Bhakti Lata Peach creeper, there will be so many other creepers trying to bring you down. The garden of spirituality also has its fair share of weeds in the form of doubts. Am I missing out on something? Have I made the right decisions? Does God really exist? You may have all of these doubts. If you leave these doubts unattended, they will take root. Thus, knowledge is compared to a sword which cuts the doubts and helps one remain determined, patient, and enthusiastic in the spiritual pursuits. Okay? So it helps us, clear all our doubts. All right. So those are the four pillars of knowledge, explaining why we need to read, why we need to hear. Okay. And then for today's section, that was still yesterday's section. Today's section, we speak about active devotion. It's not just about reading. It's about doing some practical service for the Lord. Very, very important. Bhakti yoga is not lip service. It is a practical religion. Okay, it's a practical way of life. You start off your day with Krishna, you end the day with Krishna. Along the way, you remember him, you serve him, you do so many other activities. Okay, so let's look at this. So, for example, Lalita Mataji, she's an art teacher in one of the schools over here in Singapore. So every time there is some big festival in Lakshmi Narayan temple, if there's a drama we are coming up with, what does she do? She's in charge of the props, right? She's serving the Lord through art. Okay, right? So my wife likes cooking. What does she do? Every day she cooks. Okay. So like this, whatever you do, whatever you are eating, whatever activities you are embark on, try to see how it could be an offering to the Lord and society as a whole. So Bhagavad Gita explains that it's not about stillness or contemplation. Meditation and study should give rise to that rigor, that enthusiasm to dedicate our life to Lord. Bhakti yoga is not an abstract philosophy, but rather it's an opportunity to practically apply these conclusions. Therefore, although the literal translation of bhakti is devotion, Prabhupada always says it is devotional service. Okay, right? So just take. I always give this example in my class. A husband comes back from work, very, 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 very tired. He enters the house. He realizes the house is in the mode of ignorance. Right? Rubbish everywhere, the beds are not made, the cushion covers are everywhere, nothing is swept, etc. No food is being cooked. He asks the wife, what were you doing the whole day? And what does she say? I was thinking of you. I was just thinking of you the whole day. I had no time to do anything else. Is that practical? You need to actually show, right? You need to do something practical. So that's what Bhakti Yoga. It's not only about thinking about the Lord. It's about using our hands, our minds, our enthusiasm, our energy in the service of the Lord. Okay. Looking after children, making them devotees of the Lord, that is also devotional service. Right? So make it practical. All right. So in the spiritual world, devotees are in Goloka Vrindavan, they are busily engaged in serving Krishna. Those of you who have actually been to, Vrindavan in India, you would have seen everybody is so busy, serving the Lord. And because when you serve the Lord also simultaneously loves to serve his devotees. This is the exchange or reciprocation. All right. So infused with pure selflessness, such relationships are the most profound expressions of spirituality. They bring so much of joy right down, even in the lockdown. If you go to Vrindavan, Mayapura temple, nobody is actually entering, but the devotees do not stop. Yeah. Even our Cuff Road temple, where you have been to, Jagannath temple, government said lockdown. Nobody can enter into that temple because we do not have full-time pujaris or devotees or priests in the temple. Like my service is on a Monday. Every Monday I do the arati at night. So then what do? We cannot enter the place. We actually brought Jagannath out from the temple. Jagannath went to one of the devotees' house and he's being served in the devotee's house. You see? So that's the type of loving exchange which we have with the Lord. Right? So they bring, this kind of activities bring so much of joy and happiness and satisfaction to the heart. Right? But we don't have to wait until we reach Goloka Vrindavan, no? We can start right here, right now. Right? So temples are the perfect environment to offer practical services. In our city temples, there are so many service opportunities, making garlands, cutting vegetables. Yeah, so for Janmashtami, Malti brought her whole gang of relatives, her aunties, her sisters, her cousins. There were like 20 of them who actually came to the temple just to cut vegetables for Janmashtami, for the Lord, for Rath Yatra, right? So like this, there's so much you can do, right? So, but practical service to Krishna is not just limited to the temple, we can make spiritual use of our talents and abilities, like I spoke about Lalita Mataji. If you are a DJ, try to make music about Krishna. If you are an artist, paint for Krishna. If you are a writer, write your realizations about Krishna. Pretty much anything can be transformed into devotional service, okay, as we direct our conscious towards it. Okay. Some devotees engage in spiritual welfare work where they cook and distribute prasadam to others and also to homeless people. So right now, if you read the Indian news, you will realize that the Hare Krishna movement is the one who is feeding the most number of displaced people in India. Okay? Such practical devotional service help us build a personal connection with the Lord, remind us of our real happiness lies in selfless service. Okay, I'll take a pause over here before we start chanting. Any questions? Everybody is tired already. Yeah? The person who is speaking is also tired, I think. Can I have my chanting? No? One person left us. The phone number left us. Ben Prabhu, any realization? Shamugam Prabhu? Siva Prabhu? No? Okay, we will start our chanting now. Just a minute. Okay.
Today, Prabhuji, the lesson was really good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is that Deepa? Oh,
This is
Sonia.
Radhika.
Oh, Radhika. Hi, Radhika. So nice.
Hi. I'm good, thank you.
Okay, Radhika. Radhika came with us to Vrindavan. Radhika is, she has got her own travel agency. She does a lot of work for the devotees. She helps them. She brings a lot of people from Singapore to India on spiritual yatras, etc. So she's doing a great service to everyone, and she makes it really comfortable for everybody.
It's
But
all the doing of the Lord, Prabhuji.
2 years ago, she decided to join our group, where she was a little bit less stressed, where we went to Kurukshetra, we went to Vrindavan, etc. It was really nice.
But it was a very good experience.
Yeah. And I still have those videos of you sitting in front of the Lord, fully engaged. Your eyes were all closed. You were in a different world together. I still have those
Yes,
videos.
yes. It was a really a nice experience.
Okay, so let's start chanting.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare